So thank you all for coming today. Today I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the importance of having important bucket lists and not just random bucket lists of things that are fun but won't really matter in the long run. In 2007, the movie The Bucket List came out, and what it's about is this is Edward and that's Carter, and they both were diagnosed with cancer and ended up sharing a hospital room together. They weren't very happy about it at first, especially Edward, because he was a really rich guy who had donated a lot to the hospital, and he was upset about having to have a roommate, but they soon became friends. And then Carter was told that he had 6 months left to live. And he had created something he termed a bucket list for when he kicked the bucket. And he threw it away after being told that he had 6 months left. And Edward found the bucket list and brought it up, and he was just like, why did you throw this away? And he had a lot of money, and so he helped Carter fulfill everything he wanted to do on his bucket list, or almost everything, and they were traveling the world together trying to get all these things crossed off the list. But Edward helped Carter to realize that the family he had was the most important part of his life, and so before completing everything on the list, he decided to go back to his wife and kids and their kids and just be with them again, and he realized that was the important part of his life. So what do you fear that some of your biggest regrets would be? Any ideas?
Well, my biggest regret was not finishing my education.
What do you think that it might be before you die? That you work too much, or
not spending enough time with your family?
Yeah, that's a big one for a lot of people.
Not being able to help your family enough, I guess.
Not putting enough away for retirement.
Yeah, that is a big concern for a lot of people. Amy, anything?
I wasn't assertive enough when I got sick at school, so not sticking up for myself.
All right, thank you so much. There was a nurse in Australia. Her name is Bonnie Rare, and she was a nurse, and she would be with people for the last 12 weeks of their life. And she found that there were 5 regrets that were really common in all the patients that she was with. And so these are the top 5 regrets that she wrote about. The first one is that people were afraid to be themselves and afraid to choose their own path. And when they were getting close to dying, they're like, why did I let myself just try to be what I thought other people wanted me to be? And so that was a really big regret for them. And then also, especially common in men, was that they overworked themselves, and they just let themselves live on the treadmill of overworking and constantly doing that when they should have been spending more time with their family. Like you had brought up earlier, family time is very important, and a lot of people do think, well, did I not spend enough time with my family when they were growing up? Right. And then another was just fearing to express how they really felt, because they were afraid that if they did, they would disturb the peace, and they wouldn't be peaceful with people. But in doing so, they stopped themselves from growing because they were trying to hide what they really thought about things. And then they lost different people said they would lose contact with old friends, or they would let friendships that could have been really good just slip by because they were caught up in their own lives, and they wish they hadn't have done that because they lost a lot in their lives by doing so. And the last really big one was that a lot of people just didn't realize that they could be happy, and that happiness is a choice that you can make. And so they lost a lot of happiness in their lives and didn't allow themselves that happiness. But we all do have a choice. Each one of you can choose to be happy, and you can choose to make your own goals in life that you want to do. And You can choose not to have regrets in your life. And this is actually my sister Kendra. She created a list of 101 things she wanted to do before she died. And this is one of her goals, is she wanted to hike up on Y Mountain 100 times before she graduated. And this is actually her on her graduation day, and she's holding up her fingers in the little symbol of 100 because she made her goal and she accomplished it. And while she was able to cross the item off her list, and she told me later that she was really proud for having been able to do so, what was really important to her was this. She met Ryan, the man of her dreams, while she was at school, and they are now the best of friends. They just had a baby girl, and that, she told me, is the most important thing that she's ever done. And even though it's not on her list of 101 things to do before she died, to get married, it was always her most important goal, and always the things that she was working for, because she knew that her family was going to be the most important thing, and that's where real happiness could come from for her. Right. And this is actually Alice Pine. She died last January of 2013, and she was 17 years old when she died, but she battled with cancer for 5 years, and she knew for the last 2 of it that she had been given 2 years left to live. And she decided not to just mope around, but she created her own list of things that she wanted to do. And instead of, she has some fun things on there, but instead of just letting it go, or she was just kind of doing frivolous things, she decided to make a difference. And she encouraged so many people to sign up for bone marrow transplants, and hundreds of people, and actually out of that already 30 or 40 people have gotten transplants because of the people that she encouraged to sign up. And so she was able to save lives that way. And she just encouraged people to follow their dreams. Actually, her slogan was, "You have one life, live it." And that's really what I'm here to encourage all of you here to do today, is that you only have one life, you only have one chance on this earth, and make the most of it. Decide on what your real bucket list is, all the things you want to do before you die, and you can write it down, or you can just keep it in your head, but always remember it, and make sure it's the most important things of life that you're thinking about, whether it be family, keeping in contact with old friends, or even just something as simple as remembering that you have the power to choose to be happy. Thank you.